Hey guys, so I wanted to come in and just tap in and do a quick little video on something. And I was sitting here and it really hit me and it was really deep. So I figured I'll just press record and just let it go, right? And a question popped in my head today. I watched some videos and I said, this is deep. I have a question. Why people plan and almost never execute? Why do people plan and almost never execute? All right, so let's get into it. The first thing is planning feels good. It relieves anxiety. It's like planning for your wedding. You're excited, just the idea of it all, the party, the union, the dress, the suits, the colors, the arrangements. It feels good. Dopamines are high, anxiety levels are low, but it's a good level of anxiety, right? Something that you're so giddy, you're so turned up, you're loving this moment of planning. Planning is everything. You love it. Planning your education. You're going to go to law school. You're planning your future. I'm planning on leaving a job. I'm planning on becoming an entrepreneur. The planning part is full of high energy. There's no regrets. It's a lot of courage inside of that planning phase in your mind. You're doing the whole bit, okay? You are breaking down everything in your mind. What's going to happen, how it's going to happen, how you're going to execute. And then this happens. It's now time to execute. And you can't execute. Can't is the wrong word. You lose the fire, right? To want to execute. Why? Because subconsciously you already lived this. You can't relive a feeling twice. If someone was behind a wall and they popped out and said surprise, they will, that will startle you. But if they go behind that wall again and they do it again, subconsciously you remember that that they were there, so they jump out again. You expect that feeling. You expect them there, so it's like, right? Subconsciously, you did all this planning over your journey. And so now it's time to execute. You stop speaking affirmations over your journey. A lot of people are guilty of that. It's because your mind has done the planning process already. So subconsciously, you lived out that whole ordeal. So the fire is going out. That's the first issue with why people plan and it almost never comes to fruition. They don't execute after the planning phase a lot of times. And it's deep. Think about it. Just like when we have New Year's resolutions and things like that, the planning phase is amazing. It's like, wow, we're going to, lose weight. We're going to stop smoking cigarettes. We're going to stop doing X, Y, and Z. And then what happens? Life happens, it gets real and your plan is not working. It's just like, like I said about the gym situation or New Year's resolutions. You plan to work out and you get real comfortable with the planning. Then you decide to drink a little soda. Then you decide to You go back on some things, you push the plan out, and then subconsciously your mind starts to play tricks on you and you say, hey, well, the membership starts in January, so we have time to get back on track. Isn't that how it works? And it's just as simple as that. We make plans, set goals, take small steps to work towards achieving them. While we were sitting here and planning and saying we're going to get this together, we're going to do this, it's crazy because our minds start to tell us, no, it's handled. You know what I mean? It's okay. We don't need to think about it again because we already planned it out. We already planned it out. Why do we need to execute it when we've already planned it out? We've been down that road, right? It's almost like when you speak affirmations over your life, in your mind, you see it, but the energy to go and put foot to pavement dies out. It dies out because your mind tells you, we've lived that already. We've been there. We've done that. So what do we do next? Now, I'm not saying that planning is a terrible thing. So don't go and say, well, maybe we shouldn't plan because, we need to keep that anxiety, that happiness, that adrenaline rush going. No, I'm not saying that, because planning is absolutely necessary. It keeps us motivated once we planned. But you have to train your mind to know, okay, we've planned it, now I must execute. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't have the self-awareness to say, you know what, I planned it. I need to stay focused and actually execute. All right. I need to put my blinders on and I need to execute now. Right. There's a little time, a gap in between there where your mind starts to play tricks on you and you don't execute, because now we get into the second phase, which is our subconscious. Our subconscious becomes, it takes front seat. All right. It takes front seat right up in the center, front row, okay, of the church, honey. This is when our subconscious kicks in. And it knows the real reason we made our plans anyway. Your subconscious knows why you made your plans. And it also knows it's not a good enough reason to do the damn work that's required. I mean, you've planned it out. You've been planning. But your subconscious starts to kick in. And it says, look at here, homeboy. That's not a good enough reason to do the work. We've already played it out in our minds. Your subconscious is like, really? Okay. It start breaking down internally, and it's like, oh, like that? That's how it's gonna happen? But it's very deep. By the time you acknowledge that you're not following through with your plans, you're more likely to tell yourself negative things. That's where it starts breaking you down little by little. You're not gonna do this. You know you're not. I mean, come on. I mean, we have some time. Didn't we say we're going to start the gym in January? Girl, drink that soda. We have time. Go ahead. Because you're not really about this life. That's too much work. We already thought about it. We've already lived that in our minds. Don't you remember we planned that out? The mansion on 10 acres? We planned all that out. We don't need to put the work in. Your subconscious goes, ain't no need to sweat, honey. You can sweat next year. You can even join a different gym. You don't even have to do it in January. How about we just join in June? When the weather gets warmer. In planning, you got to be realistic in what it is that you're doing, that you want to do. And that's the problem. We don't acknowledge that we're not being realistic. A lot of people don't in the planning phase. So that's the second part. So I had to do this video because I was thinking about it. I've seen people with affirmations and planning, and I was like, there's a pattern, right? And so let's talk about the third reason. I wrote my little notes out over here, y'all. So the third reason is you don't know how you work best. What do I mean by that? You don't know what works for you. You don't know. What if you're not a morning person? let's say you have children, right? Kids got to start school by 7 a.m., but your family is like night owls. Imagine if they're just like always, sleeping late, but they got to get up in the morning, and then you're busy, you have meetings at 8 a.m., things like this. You're already not a morning person. You're super busy. Your life is super packed, and you don't have enough time for yourself, right? To execute this plan that you've been trying to get together. And that's just the beginning of it right there. You don't know how you work best. You have to be able to be realistic with the plan and with that execution. You're exhausted now. You stayed up late. You got the kids up early. You had a meeting by 9, 10 a.m. And then you say, I'm gonna exercise 4 days a week. And then you realize you're not doing that. You don't have time. You're burnt out. You're burnt out. Then you say to yourself, I'm not the exercising type. You decide the fitness goal that you planned is just good enough to be forgotten. You have to know what works best for you. You don't know how you work best because you've been trying to make what other people do fit you. You go on Instagram and you see what they do, and you try to compartmentalize what they're doing and fit it into your life. That's not right, because everybody's different. Everybody's passion is different. Their goals are different. Their past situations, what drives them, what drives them, what motivates them. It's all different from what you have going on. You've got to understand that. That's why I always say you have to put blinders on when it comes to your life, your goals, your passion, your dreams, and execution. You need to put blinders on. It's all about what other people do. It definitely doesn't fit your narrative. It doesn't fit your life. It doesn't fit what you have going on, what you need to have going on. None of that matters. It's not for you. You have to firstly sit down and know everything that someone else is doing may not fit what you're doing. So put your blinders on. People will tell you how they made it, how they did this, how they did that, and you will burn yourself out. You will burn yourself out trying to keep up with other people, how they manage to be successful, how they, But you can't look at that. You really can't look at that. You have to sit and be honest with yourself. Are you willing to execute? Don't let your subconscious break you down and tell you everything that will soothe your mind, that will tell you, you know what, it's not that serious. You know, we made plans this year to lose 5 pounds in 2 months. And it didn't work out. Let's just push it out until 6 months. And then let's push it out to a year. And let's push it out into 2 years. That's your subconscious, because it already knows how to soothe you. You're not an executor. You're not going to do it. Your mind plays tricks on you. Says, girl, we planned this already. We planned this already, right? And that's not it. You need to be able to sit down, be realistic with yourself, and know what works best for you. Because if you get tied into that, that's draining. Trying to figure out how other people are making it, how other people are doing it. And then you find yourself on a hamster wheel. You see a lot of people like that on YouTube, a lot of people like that on Instagram, all over social media. How many years have they talked about opening up businesses? How many years have they talked about leveling up, right? You see them with vision boards. You see them with, speak this into existence. Talk about this. You have to say this 20 times a day. Speak this over your life. They're very good at planning. But you have to peel back the layers. What have they executed? And that's it right there. That's the 3 things that I know from myself, just personal experiences, why people don't, follow through with their plans and goals. I'm not exempt from this. I've always battled with certain things like that with planning. You plan things and then your subconscious gets the best of you. You start doubting yourself. You start trying to soothe your reality, which is you can be a little lazy. 2, you're following other people's ways. And 3, you don't really have realistic visions for your path. You're speaking it as far as like, I'm going to work out 6 times a week. I'm going to, but that's not realistic for you. You know who you are. Be real with yourself. You have to really sit down and have a piece of humble pie and a realistic pie, okay? It's going to be real nasty. It's going to be real truthful. But damn it, you got to sit there and do it. Live in it. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself like a lot of these people on social media, a hamster in a wheel and just turning. And every time you see them, they're planning. If there's some comfortability there, that's their safe haven. They are habitual planners, honey. They are addicted to planning. They are lifers when it comes to planning. But when will they execute? That's what you need to ask yourself. After the planning phase, give yourself a time frame of execution. Give yourself a time frame. This is how I'm going to execute it. To hell with other people on social media. This is my plan. This is how I plan on doing it. And now I'm going to put foot to pavement. I put it on my Instagram post. I wrote, faith without works is dead, right? And I think everybody's heard that. And then look at who you're following on social media. A lot of these people are sponges. They take what they hear Les Brown say, or Eric Thomas, or whoever else, and they just come back up here and regurgitate the same stuff to you. You've heard it all over. You've heard it. It's all about planning. They're comfortable with planning. I need you to listen to yourself, listen to your core. Go ahead and plan. Nothing's wrong with that. But I also need you to execute. Don't be afraid. Guess what happens? You should be comfortable in failure. You know why? Because when you fail, you ain't gonna do nothing but say, damn it, I gotta be better next time, okay? It's gonna make sure that when you're comfortable with failing, nothing can hurt you. So if you don't execute the way you planned on it, but you're still executing, guess what? Through that failure, it's going to make you a better person. You're going to be better for the journey, better for the grind. So these are 3 things. I just want to tap in with you guys. I hope somebody can understand. I'm always rambling, but this was something really heavy on my mind this morning, and I said I don't want to do a live on it. I'll just do a little, quick clip. I don't know. All right, guys. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe to the platform. Hit that like button. Hit the notification bell. Join me on Saturdays where we have grown conversation, and also watch me while I soap live. All natural skincare at www.shopsyna.com. That link will be in the description box. And yeah, I hope someone can take from this and use it in their life. Okay? Love and light.